You've been told the script, haven't you? Play by the rules. Be polite. Be accommodating. Be nice. Be safe. Offer stability. Be understanding. Listen. Nod. Suppress your raw edges, your inconvenient truths, your untamed desires. Become the good man, the reliable, agreeable, perfectly unthreatening fixture in her life. And then, the promise goes, she will surely desire you. She will choose you. She will stay. But you know deep down, don't you, that this script is broken? You've seen it play out. The good man often finds himself overlooked, confided in, befriended, but rarely truly desired with the kind of fierce, magnetic passion you crave. He becomes the comfortable option, the safe harbor, while her gaze, her energy, her undeniable pull is directed elsewhere, towards the man who embodies something else entirely. This is not about being a villain. This is not about being cruel or dishonest or disrespectful. This is about stripping away the layers of comforting illusion, the pervasive cultural conditioning that has obscured the profound, primal truths of attraction. This is about confronting an uncomfortable reality. She doesn't want a good man. She wants something far more nuanced, far more challenging, far more powerful. And until you understand what this truly is, you will forever remain outside the crucible of genuine, undeniable desire. This is an unveiling, not a condemnation. It is an invitation to look unflinchingly at the shadows cast by your perceived virtues. The first and most pervasive lie you've been sold is the myth of the nice guy as the ultimate prize. You've been taught that passive agreeableness, perpetual compromise, and a complete suppression of your own boundaries are the keys to a woman's heart. You become a wingless creature, crawling in circles, perpetually orbiting her desires, believing this self-effacing devotion will win her adoration. It will not. It will, at best, earn you her comfort. At worst, her subtle contempt. From an evolutionary perspective, and deeply rooted in the collective unconscious, female attraction is often wired to respond not to softness, but to strength, not to conformity, but to conviction, not to compliance, but to competence. This is not a judgment of women. It is an observation of a fundamental, often unconscious, human dynamic. The nice guy often projects an energetic weakness, a lack of self-authorship, a subtle desperation for approval. This isn't inherently malicious, but it is undeniably unattractive. Consider the archetypes that stir the human soul. Carl Jung spoke of the king, the warrior, the magician, the lover. These are not passive figures. They embody agency, purpose, mastery, and a confident engagement with the world. The nice guy often approximates the victim archetype or the puer aeternus, eternal boy, archetype. Charming, perhaps, but lacking the gravitas, the inner authority, the self-possessed solidity that signals true masculinity. He often fears conflict, avoids difficult conversations, and prioritizes external harmony over internal truth. This isn't strength, it's avoidance. What power is there in being agreeable if it means you lose your own voice, your own direction? What magnetism is there in perpetual politeness if it masks a fear of genuine confrontation and uncomfortable truth? This trap keeps you in a perpetual state of seeking validation, never embodying the unshakable self-worth that truly commands respect and ignites desire. You are building a shrine to confusion, sacrificing your genuine desires on the altar of manufactured aspirations, believing this sacrifice will be rewarded. It will not. She doesn't want your compliance. She wants your conviction, the power of self-authorship. This is the first profound truth. She doesn't want a man who merely agrees with her, who contorts himself into whatever shape he believes will please her. She doesn't want a reflection of her own opinions or a compliant follower. She wants a man with conviction. She wants a man who possesses self-authorship, who knows his own mind, his own values, his own direction, and stands firm in them, even when they differ from hers. This is the man who speaks his truth, not to dominate, but because it is his truth. The man who has done the arduous work of knowing himself, defining his principles, and then living in alignment with them, regardless of external pressure or potential disapproval. This isn't arrogance, it's integrity. It's the silent declaration. This is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is where I am going. This conviction creates a powerful energetic polarity. It signals that you are not easily swayed, that you are a force to be reckoned with in the world, that you have an inner compass. This creates a sense of safety, not the bland safety of predictability, but the profound safety of knowing you are with a man who will not abandon his core when tested, who will not bend to every whim, who can lead himself. This is a man who builds a soul, not a shrine to confusion. What is the allure of a man who constantly conforms, whose opinions are fluid, whose boundaries are porous? Where is the magnetic tension in a relationship with a mirror, rather than a distinct, sovereign entity? She craves the solidity of your inner framework, the strength of your convictions, not the comfortable pliability of your compliance. She doesn't want your weakness, she wants your willpower, the allure of self-mastery. The second profound truth: she doesn't want your weakness, your chaotic impulses, your inability to govern yourself. She wants your willpower, she wants your self-mastery. This is the man who can control his own appetites, his own emotional reactions, his own direction, rather than being a slave to them. This manifests in various forms. It's the man who says no to instant gratification for a long-term vision. It's the man who can regulate his anger, not suppress it, but channel it constructively. It's the man who pursues discipline in his work, his body, his habits. It signals strength, capability, and reliability. This isn't about being perfect. It's about the consistent effort towards self-improvement, towards becoming a more refined and capable version of oneself. Think of the warrior archetype. It's not just about physical strength, but about discipline, focus, and the ability to conquer one's internal demons as much as external challenges. A man who is perpetually lost in escapism through endless gaming, compulsive consumption, or addiction is signaling a profound lack of self-governance. This conveys a lack of inner power, a man who is a wingless creature, crawling in circles, unable to direct his own flight. This willpower creates a sense of profound trust, not just that you will be reliable, but that you are a man capable of navigating the storms of life, a man who will not fall apart under pressure, a man who is actively shaping his own destiny rather than being tossed by the whims of circumstance. What is the appeal of a man who is easily swayed by every fleeting desire, who lacks the discipline to pursue his goals, who is perpetually reactive rather than proactive? Where is the deep respect for a man who cannot even govern his own urges? She is drawn to the man who demonstrates agency over himself, for that agency promises security and direction for the life he builds, both for himself and potentially with her. She doesn't want your security, she wants your spirit, the magnetism of purpose. The third profound truth: she doesn't just want your financial security, your comfortable routine, your predictable path. While these are often appreciated, they are not the primary igniters of sustained, passionate desire. She wants your spirit. She wants your purpose. This is the man with a compelling vision for his life, who is passionately pursuing something beyond mere comfort or stability, who is deeply engaged in the active creation of his reality. This is the man who is building something, whether it's a business, a craft, a mission, a body of knowledge, or a movement. He is animated by something larger than himself, by a deep, internal drive. This isn't about grandiosity. It's about having a direction, a reason for being, a source of animating fire that transcends the mundane. This purpose creates a powerful aura, a magnetic field around him. The good man often offers a life of comfort, of safety, of predictability. But comfort without challenge becomes stagnation. Safety without passion becomes boredom. Predictability without purpose becomes rote existence. A woman, at a deep level, is drawn to a man who is actively engaged with the world, shaping it, influencing it, contributing to it in a meaningful way. This signals vitality, competence, and a capacity for impact that extends beyond himself. What is the enduring appeal of a man whose greatest ambition is a secure retirement, and a comfortable sofa. Where is the inspiration in a life dedicated solely to consumption and passive existence? She is drawn to the man whose candle is flickering with an internal flame, whose eyes hold the light of a grander pursuit. For that pursuit suggests a depth and dynamism that promises a richer, more engaged life. She doesn't want your predictability. She wants your polarity, the dance of tension. The fourth profound truth: she doesn't want bland predictability, a life devoid of challenge or passion. She wants polarity. She wants the dynamic dance of tension, the energetic interplay between the masculine and feminine that ignites attraction and keeps it alive. This means you must maintain your distinct masculine essence, even as you relate to her. This isn't about conflict for conflict's sake. It's about not dissolving your identity into hers. It's about holding your ground, offering a different perspective, sometimes even challenging her in a way that is respectful but firm. It's about being an anchor, a distinct point of reference, rather than a chameleon who mirrors her every mood or opinion. A good man often errs on the side of complete agreeableness, fearing any dissent or tension. But true attraction thrives on healthy friction, on the push and pull of two sovereign individuals engaging with respect and distinctness. When you become overly compliant, overly predictable, you eliminate the very spark that keeps the energetic dance alive. You collapse the polarity. This leads to a relationship that feels safe, but lacks passion, that feels comfortable, but lacks excitement, that feels predictable, but lacks vitality. What is the long-term allure of a man who is a reflection rather than a distinct presence? Where is the magnetic pull in a relationship where one partner ceases to offer any energetic counterpoint, any distinct challenge, any delightful surprise? She is drawn to the man who can hold his own, who creates a dynamic tension. For this signals a man who is not afraid to stand as a distinct, powerful entity in her life, capable of leading himself and engaging her on a deeper, more stimulating level. She doesn't want your comfort. She wants your confrontation, the value of truth. The fifth profound truth: she doesn't want endless comfort, an avoidance of all difficulty or unpleasantness. She wants your confrontation, not in a hostile or aggressive way, but in the willingness to speak uncomfortable truths, to hold boundaries, to challenge her and yourself when necessary, to engage with reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. This is the man who isn't afraid to say no when he means no, to set clear boundaries, to address difficult issues head-on, even if it leads to temporary discomfort. This signals courage, integrity, and a profound respect for reality. It shows that you value truth more than superficial harmony. The good man often avoids confrontation at all costs, fearing disapproval, fearing conflict, fearing the disruption of his carefully constructed agreeable image. This avoidance, however, creates resentment, fosters hidden dynamics, and ultimately erodes trust. True safety comes not from the absence of conflict, but from the knowledge that conflict can be navigated, that truth can be spoken, and that boundaries can be upheld with respect and strength. When you consistently prioritize her comfort over the truth, you become a weak leader, a man who sacrifices integrity for immediate peace. This might make her feel superficially protected, but it will undermine her fundamental respect and attraction. What is the enduring respect for a man who perpetually avoids discomfort, who cannot hold a boundary, who sacrifices his truth for the sake of artificial harmony? Where is the sense of true safety with a man who will not confront reality, who will not challenge her when necessary, who will not stand firm against external pressures or her own fleeting whims? She is drawn to the man who embodies genuine strength, the strength to face reality, even when it is difficult, and to lead with integrity. She doesn't want a man, she wants a sovereign being, the integration of strength and depth. This culminates in the most profound truth. She doesn't want a mere caricature of masculinity, a man who performs a role. She wants a sovereign being. She wants a man who has done the arduous, courageous work of integrating all aspects of himself, his power and his vulnerability, his assertiveness and his empathy, his logic and his intuition, his independence, and his capacity for deep connection. This is the man who has wrestled with his own shadow, who has faced his fears, who has embraced the messy complexities of his own psyche. He is not a one-dimensional good guy or a two-dimensional alpha male caricature. He is whole, he is integrated, he is self-aware, and therefore self-mastered. He embodies the king archetype in its fullest sense, not as a tyrant, but as a ruler of his own inner kingdom, bringing order, purpose, and justice to his own soul. He is simultaneously a warrior for his convictions, a magician who understands the deeper dynamics of life, and a lover who can connect with genuine depth and passion. This man doesn't derive his worth from external validation. He emanates it from within. He doesn't need her approval to define himself. He invites her to share in the richness of his self-authored life. He doesn't merely do, he is. He understands that true power is not exerted over others, but cultivated within oneself. What enduring attraction is there for a man who is perpetually performing a role, forever seeking external approval, always fragmented and incomplete? Where is the magnetic pull towards someone who is not yet whole, who is still a stranger to his own depths? She is drawn to the profound allure of a man who knows himself, owns himself, and leads himself with integrity and purpose. The path to undeniable attraction, reclaiming your essence. So, how do you shed the skin of the good man and step into the true sovereign power that naturally attracts? How do you become the man who embodies this? It begins with ruthless self-honesty. Stop seeking external validation. Look inward. What are your true convictions? What are your non-negotiable values? What boundaries have you allowed to be eroded? What aspects of yourself have you suppressed in the desperate hope of being liked or accepted? This is the arduous work of confronting your own fears of disapproval, your own people-pleasing tendencies. Next, cultivate radical self-ownership. Take full responsibility for your life, your emotions, your choices, your direction. Stop blaming, stop complaining, stop making excuses. Embrace the reality that you are the sole author of your life. This means making difficult choices, upholding your boundaries, and committing to your word, even when it's uncomfortable. This is how you build genuine willpower and integrity. Embrace purposeful action. Find something that deeply ignites your soul, a mission or a craft that transcends mere comfort or material gain. Dedicate yourself to it. Let your life be defined not just by what you consume, but by what you create, what you build, what you contribute. This inner fire, this passionate engagement with life, is immensely attractive. Learn the art of polarization through integrity. Be distinct. Have your own opinions. Don't be afraid to challenge respectfully, to hold your ground, to be the anchor in the relationship rather than the chameleon. True connection emerges from the dance of two distinct whole individuals, not from two halves seeking to merge into one indistinct blob. Finally, embark on the profound journey of integrating your complete self. Allow yourself to feel deeply, to express your emotions authentically, to cultivate your intuition, to embrace your capacity for nurturing and empathy. This is not about becoming softer, it's about becoming whole. A man who integrates his inner masculine and feminine principles is not only more powerful and balanced, but far more compelling and genuinely attractive. The path to undeniable attraction is not found in performing a prescribed role, nor in the passive pursuit of external approval. It is found in the courageous, often painful journey inward to reclaim your authentic essence. It is found in the willingness to dismantle the invisible psychological chains that have kept you small, agreeable, and ultimately undesirable to the very depths of a woman's soul. Will you continue to chase the illusion of being good enough by sacrificing your true self, only to find yourself perpetually overlooked? Will you continue to seek external validation for a version of yourself that is ultimately empty? Or will you have the immense courage to look at your own chains, to challenge the cultural scripts that have defined you, to step into the terrifying yet infinitely rewarding work of truly knowing yourself, owning yourself, and embodying your full, integrated, sovereign power? She doesn't want a good man, she wants a sovereign man. and the choice to become him, to claim your true power, rests entirely with you. Reclaim it.